What is going on, YouTube? My name is Randy, and today we got a couple of topics to talk about, guys, Met fans. We got Brandon Nimmo, we got Mark Vientos. We're going to get started here with Brandon Nimmo. And right now, he's been really good in the two-hole. It's a small sample, but definitely for 4 games, he's 5 for 13 with a 385 batting average, with a 467 on base percentage. The at bats just look really different from Brandon Nimmo right now. I think I really like Brandon Nimmo in the two hole, and we've seen obviously previous years as a Met, when Brandon Nimmo was leading off, it was a different mindset. So right now, I feel like the table setter mindset is probably better for Brandon Nimmo. And Brandon Nimmo, we saw Brandon Nimmo in the cleanup spot, in the fifth spot, in the sixth spot, and it just didn't look good. It looked like he was putting a lot of pressure on himself to hit home runs, a lot of pressure on himself to hit for power, to drive in runs. And it just wasn't working. I just don't think it was working. And obviously, the batting average is 225 right now with 8 home runs, 27 RBIs. It's kind of crazy to me that he even has more RBIs than Juan Soto, but that is the case. Listen, Brandon Nimmo is a very important player for the Mets. And right now, he is going to be on the contract for many years to come. So the Mets have to figure out where is the best spot for Brandon Nimmo to be successful. And I feel like he's gotten a little, ever since he's been in the cleanup spot, the fifth spot, the sixth spot, and wherever you want to put him that isn't the leadoff spot, it just wasn't working. You saw it last year when Francisco Lindor took his leadoff spot and Brandon Nimmo was in down in the order. He didn't look good. He struggled a lot, and it seemed like he was trying to find something that just it wasn't really there that much. Yes, he can hit home runs. I'm not saying he can't hit home runs, but the table setter mindset, I think it's a better mindset for Brandon Nimmo. And like I said, in the two-hole 4 games so far, an on-base percentage of 467, an OPS of 928. 5 for 13. The at-bats just look different. He's working the counts. That is something that I really like about Brandon Nimmo. And we've seen in previous years with Brandon Nimmo when he was leading off, he would be a guy that would be a great on-base percentage guy, a guy that would get on base a lot, and also a guy that will, first of all, work his walks as well. He wouldn't chase a lot of pitches. And we've seen a lot of chase from Brandon Nimmo in the cleanup spot. And I just don't think he is a cleanup spot hitter. When I saw that the Mets put Brandon Nimmo in the cleanup spot this season, I was like, I just don't think that's going to work. I really never thought that was going to work. And it didn't work. It didn't. Brandon Nimmo was putting a lot of pressure on himself. He wasn't hitting as much. He wasn't hitting the way he wanted to hit. And I mean, he was sacrificing his average. And yeah, batting average is not the biggest thing in the world, but to me, I like batting average, and I think it's very important. But Brandon Nimmo, 225 batting average, that really isn't him. That's not what you want from Brandon Nimmo. You want at least 270, 260, a batting average like that from Brandon Nimmo, because he's a guy that can get on base. He's a guy that can work counts. And what I've seen from Brandon Nimmo is a lot of chase, a lot of indecision, a lot of trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That is not Brandon Nimmo. And that is something that the Mets, I think, have realized that, yeah, we're gonna kind of keep him in the two-hole now, because Brandon Nimmo is better in the two-hole. Now, I don't know what they're gonna do today because they're facing a lefty, but probably Starling Marte is gonna be in the two-hole. But when it comes to facing a righty, Brandon Nimmo, to me, should be in the two-hole. If it's working, then just stay with it. And I think when it comes to the mindset, it's the table setter mindset, and it's just a better mindset for Brandon Nimmo. He was better as a table setter, and I think it's a big thing. I think it's really a big thing, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, I'm hoping the best for Brandon Nimmo going forward. So we'll see if they keep him there in the two-hole. I think that they should. We'll see at the end of the day. We're going to get into another player, and that is Mark Vientos. Yes, Mark Vientos. A guy that had a really good 2024, a breakout 2024. Basically, obviously, he was in AAA. He was in the big DH situation with JD Martinez, in the spring training, and he thought he was going to be the DH. He thought he was going to get a spot in the 2024 Mets. And then the Mets signed JD Martinez. So Mark Vientos was called to AAA and to stay in AAA until there was a need. And obviously, JD Martinez didn't really do much, but he was an okay DH, but he didn't really do much. But when Mark Vientos came up and took the job from Brett Baty, he really showed a lot of promise. He showed that he can hit the ball the other way. He can hit for power, and he hit a lot of home runs. He hit over 20-something home runs in the season, and he came up late in the season. He came up around May 15th. So I think Mark Vientos is an important player. Right now, during the season, you've seen Mark Vientos chase a lot. I've seen a lot of strikeouts this season in 2025, and it's a big difference from 2024. When 2024, Mark Vientos was dictating those at-bats. He was dictating, the at-bats, but also he wouldn't chase a lot of pitches. And yeah, he'll strike out a bit, but he's not going to chase every single pitch. And yeah, he was probably getting more fastballs and he was hitting more fastballs. But right now, I get it. It's not easy for the second year in the MLB for guys. That's a real thing. The sophomore slump is a real thing. And Mark Vientos is a guy that can hit for power, can go the other way. And what you've seen was consistency, a lot of consistency last year. And even in the postseason, you saw consistency from Mark Vientos. So that is what we want to see as Met fans from Mark Vientos. And I'm hoping he gets there. I'm hoping he gets to that star player that he was last year. And I don't think that it's a fluke. I think he is a very important player for this foundation. And I'm hoping at the end of the day that he brings that power. We saw in that last game against the White Sox, he hit a home run to right field in Citi Field, and it was the other way. But he had 3 strikeouts in the game. And that is something that is concerning to me with Mark Vientos. He is striking out a lot. He is chasing a lot. And I get it. Pitchers and the MLB, they're going to adjust to a guy. And now Mark Vientos is getting a lot of breaking balls, a lot of sliders, a lot of changeups, everything away. So I don't know what Mark Vientos really needs to do. I think he has the ability to not really chase that much because he wasn't chasing that much last year. And he was putting the pressure on the pitcher every single time. And maybe he was getting pitched differently because obviously he's getting pitched differently now because they're just going breaking ball heavy. But he's missing a lot of fastballs this season. And he's not doing a lot of damage. And that is something that Mark Vientos, right now he has 6 home runs with a .235 batting average and OPS of .690. He is much better than that. I feel like his at-bats have been okay lately. His last 7 games, a 190 average. His last 15 games, a .275 batting average. So his last 30 games, a .280 batting average. But a lot of strikeouts. And it is alarming and it is concerning. And he's getting pitched differently. We know this. We understand it, but I want this guy to be successful. I'm hoping that Mark Vientos can be the guy that he was last year. A guy that can put the pressure on the pitcher. A guy that can dictate those at-bats. A guy that can hit for power. And a guy that can go the other way. That doesn't need to just stay pull heavy. And I like Mark Vientos. I feel like he still has a place. I don't think last year was a fluke. And I think Mark Vientos still has the ability to be that guy from last year. At this point, we will see what happens, but the strikeouts is alarming. The strikeouts are concerning, and maybe he has to move closer to the plate. I don't know what he has to do, but he's staying confident. And also, you saw a lot of confidence last year from Mark Vientos. When he took that spot from Brett Baty at third base, he was playing better defense at third base than he is right now. Right now, Brett Baty has basically taken his job at third base. And Brett Baty right now is basically playing better than Mark Vientos. It's such a 360 from last year when Mark Vientos took Brett Baty's job at third base. And now Brett Baty is basically taking Mark Vientos' job. So there is pressure coming for Mark Vientos. And Mark Vientos' spot is not solidified on the roster. We know that Ronnie Mauricio is around the corner, and he is doing really good in AAA right now. He hit a home run yesterday as well. But when it comes to Mark Vientos, there's pressure here, guys. There's pressure. So he has to show up. And they asked him, hey, what's going on? How do you feel at the plate? He said, I'm trying to stay the course. I'm trying to stay confident. And at the end of the day, I think it's all going to work out. So he thinks it's going to work out. And I'm hoping it will. At the end of the day, that's all we want. We want Mark Vientos and Brett Baty and all these Met players to be successful. But Mark Vientos, to me, is a guy that has a lot of ability. And you saw last year, like, you can't do what he did last year. That wasn't a fluke. There's no way that was a fluke because he was doing really good. He was one of the best OPS hitters from OPS standpoint in the postseason. I mean, this guy is a very important player. He was a very important player last year. So we will see what happens with Mark Vientos. I don't know exactly what he needs to do, but he does need to find it. So let me know what you guys think about the video. If you enjoyed, definitely do me a favor, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, man, at the end of the day, all we want is for our Mets players to be successful. So let's go Mets. Let's get this win in Colorado today. And yeah, man, let's go Mets. My name is Randy, and I'm out of here.